Obviously, can I invite first for Rob Curtis from Navitas Professional, David Lee from CPA Australia. We have Rajan Mehra from the Restaurants and Catering Industry Association. Jack Lee from Benchmark Business. Now, we have our first questions. These are very common questions that we got from international students. Is that how do we find a job without permanent residency in Australia? And why are we, as an international student, not allowed to get a vacation and internship positions in Australia? I'll just go to Rob, actually.
Thanks, Thompson. In terms of finding employment within Australia for an international student, a lot of companies and major organisations don't fully understand some of the questions that are asked of them. Often, many students that I attend to expos and events and things like that, they ask two questions. Do you have permanent residency? I'm an international student, of course I don't. Or, do you have work experience? Actually, the answer really is, do you fully understand what a graduate is? Of course I don't. I've been at university. So, in terms of, probably the best advice I can give people looking for jobs is to try and get an internship. An internship as part of a course where you're learning how to do an internship and learning how to work in a professional environment will help you. I often think of an internship as, sometimes it's a bit like putting yourself in a shop window. If you walk past a shop and the shop window's messy and it's not prepared, and you're likely to walk past. But if you walk past a shop window and it's dressed nice and it's attractive to you, you'll probably go in to the shop. So I think that certainly going for an internship is one way of doing it, but certainly preparing yourself properly for the internship, being ready for it, understanding that in the workplace that there are certain challenges that we face. So yes, by all means get an internship where you can, but try and do it via, I guess, a more professional route, which is to try and get some kind of coursework behind you that appeals to that company so that they can see more than just a body. Probably the second point of that is when you're in the internship is to act like an employee. If you act like an intern throughout your internship, you'll be seen forever as an intern. Once they forget you're an intern and they see you as an employee, you're halfway there. You dress like them. You act like the employees. You do the same hours of the employees. If everyone in a team goes home at 6 o'clock, and every day you put your jacket on at 5 o'clock, and leave the team there, you'll be seen as not like them. And that's really the goal, I think, to try and get an internship, prepare yourself for it properly, but more importantly, act like an employee when you're there. Act like you belong there.
David, CPA Australia runs a student ambassadors program, which does have a combination of domestic and international students. And this comes back to the questions about permanent residency and seems like an obstacle for international students to get a job in Australia. So what is your view on that?
I suppose you need to be as well informed as you possibly can be. You need to understand the legislation and the roadblocks that are potentially in front of you. You need to be thinking about what lies ahead of you now. So as soon as you start on the journey with your degree, you need to start thinking about how can I build my work experience, how can I contribute to the learning with practical skills. I say to some of the young people we come across, go and work at a garden centre, go and work in a coffee shop, get some real work experience, because if you can demonstrate work ethic, if you can demonstrate that you've got good time management, if you've got somebody you can call upon to be a reference for you that you've built a working relationship with here in Australia, it's really going to help you open your...
Jack, I'm just going to bring in another question that is somehow related to what Rajan has mentioned. The question says, how do we find a job without having a job experience prior to this, when even a job of washing dishes required previous experience?
I do come across a lot of students who feel that it's a very, very difficult existence in a new country. So I encourage you, know who you are, where you come from, value your skills and believe in yourself. I find a lot of students forget that they do have skills, they do have transferable skills. Really consider carefully the transferable skills you would develop in your life before coming here, and even in casual jobs while you're here. Just because you work in 7-Eleven, as some people work in casual jobs, doesn't mean that type of role offers you limited skills. Believe it or not, but some of the best employers demonstrate organization skills, cash management skills, interpersonal skills in simple customer service roles. So my advice to you guys would be to consider those jobs as stepping stones and network very, very aggressively. Be really proactive about using people, because as we know, many jobs, majority of jobs are offered without being advertised. So it really is about the people you know and presenting yourself in the most positive light.
I think you made a good point that not every job requires networking, but most jobs require you to network to get it. Networking is absolutely vital. It's probably, besides writing an awesome resume, it's probably the most important thing you can do. And you do it every day. You do it as you pass people in the street. You do it as you get introduced to people. If you're in, say, finance, and you happen to get some work experience somewhere, the likelihood is the people you're at work with are finance professionals. And the likelihood is that the people they used to work with are finance professionals. And the people they're going to go on to work with are finance professionals. Your opportunity to network with them is vital. You mentioned something about, not all jobs being advertised. I think it was Anton. I think it was about 2009 in Australia, I saw a statistic in the IT industry that 70% of IT jobs never got advertised. That means that if you're not networking, you're never going to get exposed to those jobs. Those jobs went to someone who knew somebody, who worked with somebody, whose next door neighbour used to walk their dog with somebody.
Recruitment agents often have very good websites which will allow you to build a profile and encourage you to be commercially aware. And I really need to stress that not only is it important to know people and to socialize with people who are well networked, but it's important to be commercially aware. What I mean by commercially aware is just stepping outside your own world and understanding what's happening in the broader world. It's incredible, some of the general knowledge that some people really aren't in touch with. World events, news, in particular the happenings in your own industry. So if you work in IT, engineering, finance, medicine, it doesn't take a lot of effort to link into a Twitter stream or some journal, magazine, newspaper, and just 15, 30 minutes every day, just keep in touch with what's happening, because that's the type of topic which will be common at interview stage, or when you do meet important people that you could engage in discussion with.
Have conversations with people, that you practice your interview techniques. It's been mentioned already, personality, be comfortable in your own skin, remember who you are, because if, only you can be you. So, don't make an excuse for it, celebrate who you are. It's been mentioned already, be willing to learn. You'll graduate with a great degree. You know nothing, and don't think you're going to go and be the CEO the next day. So you're going to start from scratch and just, suck it up and learn as much as you can.